Fuck. Oh, there's the... Oh, shit. I just ruined my wall. That was not worth it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first ever Counter-Strike this week, also known as Cstw. Yes, I used all two of my brain cells on that name. In this little show of mine, we will cover the best and worst of the Counter-Strike world, primarily in the esports section, over the past week on social media. Let's not squander around for much longer and finally get into the proceedings of this week. And what better first story to kick us off this week than Team Liquid's shenanigans. I really have no other way to describe this. Since Cologne the week prior, where they got bombed out of the event, 0-4, fully losing to both FaZe and Mouse, they have now lost to the VP Academy team, probably their star player Twist to take to social media to vent his frustrations, to having possibly a contender for one of the worst Counter-Strike maps ever played. I'll get more into that in just a second. Beating eventual Cologne quarterfinalist Furia, while one of their riflers, Nav, was exploding due to a coffee overdose.
Holy shit, bro. Had too many coffees. I'm fucking freaking out.
Personally, I think the War of the Worlds movie had a more consistent plot.
Start fire!
Than Team Liquid has consistent performances at this stage. Not only that, but there's apparently slight rumors about Twist being potentially exchanged back to FaZe in a swap deal for Elish, and I totally can't see why they would be interested in that. Now, as I touched on before, the match against Ecstatic... Where do I even start with this? The first map was a quintuple overtime. Now, you might think that both teams played really well for this match to go on for this long. You could not be more dead wrong. This match had everything, and I mean everything. From catastrophic sprays to multiple man disadvantage retakes being possible, from saving guns on the last round of overtime for KD reasons. Even the casters were confused.
Out in no man's
Why
land.
are you saying what?
Saving.
Why are you doing the last round? It's the last. It's the last.
Ecstatic smoking themselves off on the retake. Not bad. I'm not gonna go too much into this, as I'm pretty sure there's gonna be people making videos about this game in particular, like a lot of people. But I highly recommend you give the full game a watch, as this is truly, and I mean truly, a contender for one of the Counter-Strike games of all time. Map 2 Sadly on Ancient was much less silly and Liquid kind of just sweat Ecstatic on the ground, but that first map, I mean, come on. You have to give that a watch. Somebody else who got swept under the rug is Zontix. The 20-year-old Ukrainian anchor has been dropped by Team Spirit in favor of Tenir. The Belarusian, having been sold by Team Spirit 8 months ago for 300k to Heroic, is now coming back to Team Spirit, being sold by Heroic to Team Spirit for about 5 times the original price, so 1.5 million. Safe to say the Chinese females Counter-Strike player base is devastated, as their star player is now facing the job market. But in all honesty, I do hope that Zontix is getting a... drive? A kick? A keyboard? A start at a new team, just like fellow counterpart Magix, who has been dropped a couple weeks prior. Now, VR's table leaders and pronounced dynasty holders Vitality seem to have run into some issues ever since their defeat in the Cologne semi-final. Oh, you thought about talking about their performances in-game? Hell nah, they're still exploding teams left, right, and center. There's nothing to worry about, Vitality fans. However, multiple videos now of the squadron have emerged, which it seems all of the teams seems to, in some sort of way, malfunction. From AI Robs trying a spin-botting masterclass IRL only for it to look kind of C- to Apex... What the fuck? Yeah, I think we lost him. I don't think Apex is coming back. To Cyber... hell no, what's that? To Messi being called an extreme Brit in the in-game chat by fellow competition team NRG after discussing their food takes. Now, the only guy who hasn't clip farmed in the squad yet by the looks of things is Flamesy. And as I couldn't find anything he did, I instead decided to once again just pay homage to the 1:18 train clip posted by Kaio on Twitter. It is still one of the funniest genres of clips in competitive Counter-Strike to me. Now, this is an online qualifier by Blast Bounty to qualify for LAN finals in Malta. Malta have decided to slightly game the system by using their HQ as a little base for their fans to join in and watch their heroes play their maps in front of them. Now, I do massively appreciate Mouse doing this, especially since the tickets to the HQ were completely free, so anybody could join at any time. The crowd was a bit lackluster. There's been higher stakes in golf, okay? The crowd weren't that hyped. Especially when it looked like initially that Mouse was going to be the big upset loss at the very start of the Blast Bounty. The first match against OG really almost was the biggest surprise in the entire tournament, as OG took the first map, Nuke, with 13-9 against Mouse. Up until Mouse realized that they're Mouse and went on to win Inferno 13-1 against OG. Yeah, so the fans were happy at the end of the day, but that could have been funny to see the only team with an actual crowd explode out of the tournament immediately. Our last story of the video is something you will definitely not believe. I'm sorry to say, but a bug has been discovered in Counter-Strike 2. I know it's a great outrage to the community. I myself, as a fellow Counter-Strike player, am very disgusted by it. I don't know what to say. I'm very sorry, but in case you haven't been aware, there's currently a config file floating around the internet, which, by the way, this has been going on for 2 weeks, which lets you b-hop in-game and lets you hit insane clips. Like, there's been some clips out there using the b-hop like exploit currently. It is insane. Now, the reason why this even happened, why has this bug even happened, is because before the b-hop bug, we had the polar opposite of the b-hop bug. We had a bug from a bug. Because before that, the bug used to slow you down after you landed with any sort of air momentum when you crouched. We had the polar opposite. The bug actually speeds you up. Are we serious? Valve, come on. It's not that difficult to find a fix for that. So, they fixed one part and made the other part 10 times worse. Now, I want to mention that I cannot confirm this, and this is entirely based on speculation. I do think there's gotta be a CS2 dev somewhere in all of Counter-Strike that we don't know about, like, or maybe some child of a developer, I'm not too sure, who's just clip farming at the moment. I'm pretty sure there's a guy somewhere in there who's constantly abusing these bugs to try and clip farm as many people as possible. Like, there's gotta be a reason, because this, like, b-hop bug has been in the game. It has been in the game for about 2 weeks already. Like, maybe more. Maybe the developer is still clip farming. I don't know. Maybe he's not that great at the game. Hopefully that gets fixed soon. That's not only that XQC moment. Another bug in the game that is not quite as relevant, but it's still extremely funny to me, is the new glitched animations. There's a couple bad ones. In particular, the butterfly knife is I think a person with Parkinson's probably has more control over their hands than the CT in that clip. And now, finally, for the very first time, let me announce, PS2 has introduced the Goonicide. If you guys enjoyed the video, please hit that like and subscribe button. Next week, we're probably going to keep covering the Blast Bounty Finals and the Esports World Cup, the opening stage. See you guys up until then. Goodbye.